Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.
Hey everyone, welcome back to AI Hub. I'm Larry, your host.
And I'm Amanda. I'm the expert here at AI Hub.
Today, we are going like we always do, diving deep into a listener request.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one.
So many of you wrote in wanting to know more about AI and online shopping.
Especially
with the holiday season in full swing.
Right.
You know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that.
All that, yeah.
So we have a really cool mix of sources today.
We do.
We've got some articles from Forbes, we have some consumer reports, and then we also have some insights directly from the credit card industry.
A lot to cover.
Yeah, a lot to cover.
Yeah.
So one of the first things that I noticed is that AI is really being used all over the place in the online shopping process.
Oh, yeah.
From, like gift recommendations to marketing campaigns, the ads that you see, the stuff that gets suggested to you when you're browsing online.
Right. It's everywhere.
And it's also being used behind the scenes.
That's right.
For security.
Yeah. Super important with all those data breaches that are happening. That added layer of protection is really key.
Yeah. And it makes you feel a little bit better, too.
For sure.
That, they're trying to protect you.
Absolutely.
So, AI is a big part of e-commerce. But one thing that surprised me in one of these Forbes articles.
What's that?
Is that the majority of retail spending still happens in person.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like brick and mortar stores.
Yeah, so those physical stores aren't dead yet, huh?
Not dead yet.
Interesting.
But online sales are definitely growing super fast.
Oh, for sure. The same Forbes article actually highlighted that Black Friday online sales were up by almost 15% this year.
Wow.
Versus less than 1% for in-store sales.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah. Huge.
I wonder if that's going to keep going.
Right. What's going to happen next year and the year after that? Who knows?
Right. Will we ever go back to the mall?
Or are we all just going to be sitting on our couches clicking, buy now? So speaking of buying now, let's talk about how all this shopping is impacting our credit card debt.
Yeah. This is where the articles get a little bit scary.
A little bit, yeah.
According to Forbes, the average American household has over $10,000 in credit card debt.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a record high.
It is.
And it looks like it's being driven by a combination of those rising interest rates that we all keep hearing about.
Yeah.
And, of course, holiday spending, all those tempting deals.
Yeah, it's hard to resist.
It is.
Especially when it's like buy now, pay later.
Oh, yeah, that gets you.
It just seems so easy.
Right, and it is easy until you get the bill.
Exactly.
But what's interesting is that even though delinquency rates are expected to ease up a little bit in 2025,
Oh, okay.
total credit card balances are still projected to keep going up.
Really?
Yeah, according to a TransUnion forecast, they could hit $1.1 trillion.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a big number.
And I was also surprised to learn that it's not just young people who are struggling with credit card debt. The Forbes article mentioned that more than 2/3 of retirees are carrying balances on their credit cards.
Oh, wow.
So it seems like this is a problem that's affecting people across generations.
Yeah, it really is something to pay attention to.
Absolutely.
So on a slightly lighter note, though, it's been really interesting to see how companies are coming up with new and innovative ways to improve the customer experience, even amidst all these financial worries.
Oh, for sure.
Like that Forbes article mentioned a couple things that caught my eye.
Yeah, what were those?
Well, like Amex, they're rolling out this new online waitlist feature for their airport lounges.
Oh, that's nice.
So you don't have to stand in line anymore.
No more lines.
You can just relax,
Yeah.
get a notification when your spot's ready.
That's pretty cool.
And then for those of us who aren't jet-setting around the world,
Right.
Klarna is expanding into the Canadian market.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they're integrating with Apple Pay.
Okay. So making it easier and easier
Making it easy.
to spend.
Yeah, seamless, so convenient.
Right.
But before we get too carried away with all the cool stuff, there was something else that I wanted to bring up
Okay.
from one of the consumer reports that you sent.
Yeah.
And it was about the rising cost of credit card processing fees for merchants.
Yeah, that's a big one.
The fees that businesses have to pay when you swipe your card.
Right.
And apparently those are going up.
Yeah, according to the article and some stats from USA Today, it seems like they're steadily increasing.
And you know what that means, right?
It means that eventually it's going to trickle down to us,
Yeah.
the consumers.
They're going to have to pass those costs along to us somehow.
Higher prices.
Higher prices, exactly. So something to keep in mind, as we're enjoying all this online shopping convenience.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's circle back to AI and its impact on Black Friday shopping.
Yeah, because there were some crazy stats in the Forbes article about this.
Oh, yeah.
Like from a company called Blue Cone.
Okay.
Apparently, 64% of Black Friday shoppers this year were new buyers.
Wow. So like over half of the people shopping on Black Friday had never done it before.
Yeah.
That's a lot of new shoppers.
It is.
I wonder what's driving that trend.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it just like the deals are getting better? Are more people shopping online? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Interesting.
And then another stat that blew my mind was that 80% of Black Friday transactions were done on mobile devices.
Wow. So almost everyone was shopping on their phones.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That shows you how important mobile shopping has become.
Yeah.
And how it's really attracting a whole new generation of shoppers.
Right.
So we're seeing a major shift in the way people shop.
Definitely.
And AI is playing a big role in that.
Absolutely. So what stood out to you the most from all of this, Larry?
Honestly, I think the thing that stuck with me the most was that statistic about retirees and credit card debt.
Yeah, that was a surprising one.
It really makes you think about the bigger picture of debt and how it affects people at different stages of life.
It does.
What about you?
Well, for me, it's this whole dance between AI's growing influence and the fact that brick and mortar stores are still holding on.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating to see how those two worlds are interacting and evolving.
It is for sure.
Yeah,
Well, we've only scratched the surface here on AI Hub.
that's right.
We'll be back in a jiffy with more insights and analysis on this fascinating topic, so don't go anywhere.
And we're back to our deep dive here on AI Hub. We've been talking about how AI is really changing the game when it comes to online shopping.
Yeah, like the whole retail landscape is changing.
Totally. And, we've seen all this cool stuff, like how AI is making things more personalized and, those seamless online experiences we were just talking about.
Yeah, like those airport lounge wait lists. I mean, that's genius.
Right. But, we also have to remember those kind of alarming stats about credit card debt.
Yeah, that was a bit of a reality check.
It is. It's like, yeah, AI is making shopping easier and more fun, but we can't get too carried away.
Right. We have to be responsible.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance, between enjoying the convenience, but also making sure we're not drowning in debt.
Yeah, and I think a big part of finding that balance is really understanding how AI is being used.
Right. Like, how is it actually working behind the scenes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it helping us or is it tempting us to spend more?
That's the question, right?
So we talked about AI being used for personalized recommendations, but it's more than just that.
Oh, yeah. It's about creating like a whole smooth and enjoyable shopping journey.
Yeah, like anticipating what we want before we even know we want it.
Exactly. And that can be really cool.
Like, remember those airport lounge wait lists?
Yeah.
No more standing in line. You just chill out, get a notification when you're ready.
Who doesn't want that?
Right. Especially if you're traveling and you're already stressed.
Exactly. It's like they're using technology to make our lives easier.
And it's not just about convenience either. Remember that MasterCard and Netflix partnership?
Oh, yeah, where they're offering like exclusive perks to MasterCard holders.
Yeah, like special experiences and pre-sale tickets and all that stuff.
I think it shows how companies are really tapping into this whole idea that people want experiences.
Yeah, like they want more than just stuff.
Exactly, and AI is playing a big role in making those experiences more personalized and accessible.
So it's cool to see how AI can be used to create that kind of connection between brands and consumers.
It is, but, with all this talk about innovation and convenience, we can't forget about the potential downsides.
Yeah, like the rising credit card processing fees.
Exactly, that's a big one.
And I'm curious to get your take on that. Like, who do you think ends up paying those fees in the end?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Businesses might absorb some of the costs, but let's be real, they're probably going to pass at least some of it on to us.
Yeah, in the form of higher prices.
Right, and that's something we all need to be aware of as we're clicking add to cart.
Absolutely. And there's another potential downside that we haven't really talked about yet.
What's that?
Data privacy.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Especially with AI collecting all this information about our shopping habits and preferences.
Right, it's like they know what we buy, where we shop, what we like.
And even what we look at online, but don't buy.
It's a little creepy when you think about it.
It is, and it makes you wonder how all that data is being used and protected.
Yeah. That's a valid concern.
So I think it's important for consumers to be aware of the potential risks
For sure.
and to take steps to protect their personal information.
Absolutely. But it's also important to remember that AI is still a relatively new force in retail.
Right. It's like we're still figuring it out.
Exactly. We're just starting to see its impact, and it's likely to change and evolve in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Yeah, it's a fast-moving landscape.
It is. Remember those Black Friday stats we talked about?
Yeah.
64% new shoppers, 80% mobile transactions.
Too easy, right?
It's like the whole retail world is being flipped on its head.
It is, and AI is right at the center of it.
So it's both exciting and a little bit scary at the same time.
Definitely, but that's what makes it so fascinating to talk about.
Right? Like these deep dives are all about exploring these complex issues, uncovering those hidden trends, and, hopefully helping everyone understand this ever-changing world a little bit better.
Exactly. And on that note, I think it's time to move into the final part of our AI journey.
Yeah, we still have a few more insights to share and some final thoughts about what all of this means for you, the consumer, so stay tuned.
We are back for the final part of our deep dive here on AI Hub.
It's been quite a journey, right?
It has. We've covered a lot of ground,
Yeah.
From the cool innovations in AI to, some of the potential downsides like credit card debt and data privacy.
Right. It's important to look at all sides of the story.
Exactly. So as we wrap up,
Yeah,
let's focus on what this all means for you, the listener.
right. Like, how can we actually use this information?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's out there shopping and making decisions.
Exactly. So I think one of the big takeaways for me is just being aware.
Yeah, like being mindful of how AI is being used and how it might be influencing us.
Right, because those personalized recommendations, they can be really helpful, but they can also be sneaky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They make it so easy to impulse buy.
Right, and then you end up with a bunch of stuff you don't really need and a big credit card bill.
Exactly. So it's about finding that balance between enjoying the convenience,
Yeah.
but also staying in control.
Absolutely, and it's not just about the recommendations either.
Right.
We got to remember those credit card processing fees.
Oh, yeah, those are going up. And that's probably going to mean higher prices for us in the long run.
Yeah, it's like a hidden cost that we don't always think about.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's just something to keep in mind,
Yeah.
as we're shopping online and enjoying all the cool stuff that AI has to offer.
Right. But, on the flip side, it's also important to remember that AI is still pretty new.
Yeah, it's like a baby.
Right. We're still figuring out what it can do and how it's going to change things.
The retail landscape is changing so fast.
It is like it's evolving right before our eyes.
It is. And it makes you wonder what's going to happen next year and the year after that.
Right. Will AI get even more powerful?
Will we see new laws or regulations to protect consumers?
Will shopping become completely automated? Like, will we even have to do anything?
Who knows, right?
But it's definitely going to be interesting to watch.
It is. And, that's what AI Hub is all about.
That's right.
We're here to help you understand all this stuff.
Yeah, to break it down and make it accessible.
Exactly. So we encourage you to stay curious, keep learning,
Ask questions.
and most importantly, don't be afraid to embrace the future.
It's going to be wild.
It is. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and online shopping.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It has. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to AI Hub for more deep dives on all things AI.
We'll be back soon with another exciting topic.
So until then, stay curious and keep exploring.
Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.